do announcements for it.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright. I should probably have some fucking music going while this is happening.
It's a good idea.
There we go. Oh, my phone. Oh, I do have my phone. Look at that. Look at that.
Okay. Just shoveled eggs in my mouth.
It's, for some reason, that sounds super gross.
I mean, it wasn't pretty.
Shoveling eggs. Shoveling eggs.
What up? I'm Tyler. I'm an egg shoveler. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain. So fuck YouTube. That's what I gotta say. That's why I say fuck YouTube. I don't give a shit. Alright.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, how are we looking over on Audition?
It would help if I opened it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, we'll be starting shortly.
Sorry, I was too busy shoveling eggs into my mouth.
Who is all the way outside right now? You're able to get your birds outside? Thank you, Mossflowered, for the subscription. 3 months, tier 1. Heyo. Boop, boop, bop. How hot is it up there right now?
It's pretty shitty. It's supposed to be 90 today. It was 95 yesterday.
Yeah, it's about that here.
Yeah.
1 second.
Okay. What's up, Bronte? What's up, Ouroboros? How you guys doing? Hanging in there? Hell yeah, man. Me too. Hanging in there is a real good description for what I'm doing right now. I am tired. Ugh. I'm tired. I'm too hot. I keep trying to get work done between like the hours of like 9 and I don't know, like 2, because it starts getting too hot at that point.
Yeah. I can see, yeah. Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, I'm set up. Should maybe pee first. That might be a good
yeah,
idea.
do that, and then we'll. God, it's
Yeah,
like
I'll do that, and then we'll start.
trying to take a trip with Devin. Here we go. Shots fired. Hello, Ouroboros. How you doing, man? Mass Basket, thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you. Appreciate you. Together? Yeah. More or less. Just waiting for Tyler to take a tinkle, then we should be good to go. Now, just so everybody knows, if this is your first PopCast Live, once the PopCast starts, we basically stick to the Patreon chat, just because there's people who are in the Super Saiyan, what is it, Super Saiyan 4 that's minimum to get into? I think it is to get into that chat. So these people pay to be here for the exclusive rights. So for the live streaming platforms, it is a listening experience. But you are always welcome to join the Patreon. Become part of the participation experience. It's gonna be a fun one this week, I think. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun one. No promises. I gotta grab my Gatorade off my bed. One sec. All right. Back. You ready?
Pretty much, yeah.
You got AC, you got fans.
I do not have AC, not in this room.
No.
I have a fan.
Ew. All right.
Yep.
Well, let's get started then. You ready to record?
Yeah.
All right. 1 second. Let's hit record in 3, 2, 1. Record. There we go. Hold on. Fucking. Wow, that was a lot of ground noise. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I also have a lot of noise. I'm gonna see if I can do it without the fan. 'Cause
No,
it's not too hot yet.
Don't worry about it. Just keep yourself cool. That's the most important thing.
I'll turn it on if it gets too hot.
Okay. All right. Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Bonsaipopteam. I'm your host Mike.
I'm your host Tyler.
We're back. Just like we're always back. We said we'd be back. We're back.
Were we ever really gone?
That's the truth. Yeah. Maybe you guys just missed the 8 podcasts we've put out recently, and it's your fault. That's actually what I think that it is. As everybody knows, I'm a flawless, perfect individual who never does anything wrong, is never lazy, or too tired to do important things that we're supposed to be doing. Anyway.
Or just has nothing to say.
Yeah, that's right. Today is, it's July. It's July 1st.
It is July 1st.
Rent day. Yay.
Yeah, I just made it.
Woo. Yes. So, I'm tired, Tyler. How are you?
Look at my eyes and tell me how I feel.
You look the same as always to me. I don't know.
Well, I'm always tired, Mike. Yeah, no, I'm very tired.
You should get face tattoos, like right under your eyes that say
that'll help.
always tired. It's like Post Malone. Can become part of the new generation.
Does he have face tattoos that say always tired? Or
Yeah,
just
right
face
under
tattoos?
his eyes. It says always and then tired under his eyes.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I would do it, but I just don't want to be, a copycat. So
It's true. You could do tired and then under the other eye you could say most of the time.
that feels very off balance.
Yeah, man, it's asymmetrical. It's cool. All right.
Nah, man. I'm not an asymmetrical sort of guy. I like things to be even and balanced.
Yeah. So I'm just getting off let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 30.
Counting.
How many hours is that?
I don't know. I thought you were counting.
12 plus 4 and a half is 16 and a half. 16 and a half hours of sleep.
God damn.
Yeah, so I went to too many games this weekend. It is the first time that I've gone to a convention in 3 years, if not 4.
Long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I might have done TMG in 2021. Maybe.
I don't know.
Either that or it was 2019 was the last convention I remember going to for sure was... No, I went to TMG in 2021. I remember because I was shocked. It was 2022 when I went. Was it?
Well, 3 years would be 2022. It's
2022 would have made the most sense because I feel like 2021 I would have been still.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think you would have gone during COVID. So
yeah, but I remember last time I went, I was shocked because nobody was wearing masks. But that also became a thing because like TMG was like, yeah, we're not going to enforce mask shit, and everybody was like, dude, people are gonna like die because of that. It was like a thing. So anyway, yeah, I live in Massachusetts, so I drove down to Philadelphia, which is the worst drive. No matter so there's a couple ways for me to get out of New England, but for people who don't really know, like, you cannot get out of New England without going through New York. You have to go through New York. It is the block. Is the gateway from New England to the rest of the country. If you're going north, it's not that bad, but you're also going north, which is like, it's like a 5-hour trip north before you head over to Pennsylvania, like around the Buffalo area, or you can go south, which is where I am in Massachusetts, Southwest, and you got to go through the New York City area / northern New Jersey, and it's pretty much a white knuckle drive the entire way to Philadelphia. I skip New York City. I go through the Tappan Zee Bridge, which is now like the Governor something Cuomo Bridge or whatever the fuck.
It's the Andrew Cuomo Bridge.
Yeah, or it might be Mario Cuomo, I think.
Mario Cuomo?
Yeah,
Who the fuck's Mario Cuomo?
Cuomo is a dynasty. They're a dynasty family. Yeah.
The Cuomos.
Mm-hmm. So I take the Tappan Zee, but even still after the Tappan Zee, I end up in the Palisades. I end up in North Jersey. I got to go through a little bit of city stuff before getting on the Jersey Turnpike, and then every.
It is Mario Cuomo Bridge, by the way.
Yeah, it's a beautiful bridge. It's a
4.4 on Google. Yeah.
It's a nice bridge. There's no stopping. There's no traffic.
It has a surprising amount of reviews for a bridge. It has over 1,500 reviews.
It's a beautiful bridge. Maybe one of the bests. Okay, yeah. Bronte says it was after she became a mod, so it was in 2022. Yeah, but TMG, Too Many Games, is one of my favorite conventions. Not because I love the convention, but because I love the people that go to the convention. I think it was the first one I went to by myself as like maybe as Treesicle or Bonsai Pop. I don't remember.
It was either that or J1Con, maybe. That was up there too.
J1Con I went to because of Too Many Games. So I met the guy who ran J1 at Too Many Games. But regardless, that's also how I got to New Jersey GamerCon with all the normal boots guys back in the day. But anyway, TMG was where I met Ant Dude, Arlo, Cat Icarus, Scott the Waz, fucking like everybody. You know, Wolf Den.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody that I know besides Loxton and Swanky Box that I'm like good friends with. I think I met at,
we met them at PAX.
Yeah, Too Many Games. So it's it holds a special place in my heart. But every year they've started to treat YouTubers shittier. Oh yeah, and Derek, I met Derek at Too Many Games as well. She says,
Boundary Break,
yeah. So every year they start treating YouTubers worse and worse, and that's kind of how
which is crazy because it's an MCN event. Like it's put on by a multi-channel network that their whole thing is that they are supposed to support their creators.
Right, but it's put on by Screenwave, which is the problem, right? Like Screenwave is just the worst. That's like a kind of an inside YouTube thing, but Screenwave are the guys who do Angry Video Game Nerd now. They do, you know, like all of those guys, the generation older than us. A lot of that is Screenwave, and there's been a lot of issues with them. There's been a lot of just money like things that they've done that's really sketchy, and they've really been putting their own personal influence on Too Many Games for a long time, and it's just like now they're into this is why I don't do anime cons. Anime conventions don't care about YouTubers, and there's a lot of reasons for that. No, mostly because there's no anime YouTubers around anymore that aren't the big three in Japan and Mother's Basement, who's also in Japan, and you know the only other one that I can really think of that's American is Nux, and nobody wants that motherfucker around. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So,
well, he's also anonymous, so he's not going to a convention.
He's been to conventions. That's how I know what he looks like.
Oh,
yeah. He's very, very pale and a ginger.
Wow.
Yeah. No, hiding in public accidentally like leaked a photo of him back in the day. I don't remember who it was, but somebody leaked a photo of him. But hiding in public doesn't make anime content really anymore either. He's like Steven Universe now, right?
I don't remember. We've looked at his channel a couple times over the years. It's changed, yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, Eye Patch Wolf is somebody they bring out for like MagFest, but even he doesn't really do much anime content.
When was the
anymore.
last time? I mean, I think he talks about anime during his like my favorite things of this summer or whatever. You know.
Yo, what's up, Icarus? Welcome. So yeah, we are joined by Bronte, Icarus, and Ouroboros. Thank you guys so much for being our Super Saiyan 4 Plus patrons. We appreciate you. But yeah, so Too Many Games. This might be the last year we all go. It's kind of something we were talking about. We're thinking about just
doing.
Really?
It's gotten there.
Yeah, we're just doing. We want to do a vacation. I think.
I was gonna say it's just better to just spend the money to go do something fun.
Yeah. Like Ant has.
Like why?
Ant has an idea for a place in Seattle because a lot of them live in Seattle now anyway. I would love for everybody to come to Atlantic City, Asbury Park. We could go to Atlantic City as like a day trip or a night trip.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, either like one way or another.
Well, my vote's for Seattle because it's closer to me.
yeah, exactly. Well,
as a matter of fact, I was just there this weekend.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely talk about that.
Yep.
So, I haven't done anything in years, like anything like, you know, in person with big groups or anything like that, and so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go see my friends. She Says was there, Antude was there, that whole crew, Fushi and Naveed and Waleed was there, which was cool. I haven't seen him since MagFest. Ballrock Game Room, if you guys don't know Waleed.
Oh yeah.
I
forgot about him.
Yeah. And one of my buddies, M, who crazy relationship with that dude. he he used to run the New Tubers Reddit page back in
interesting.
in like 2014, 2013, and that's what I used when I first started.
Same.
And then we met at Too Many Games, and now he has a podcast that's like the number 5 video game podcast in the world.
Well, that's awesome.
And I didn't know. Yeah, so, and he was so excited because he was like, dude, I wouldn't know anybody here, like, if it wasn't for you, like, bringing me around and introducing me to everybody. So it's like this, you know, it's this really cool thing seeing him again, and it was a lot of fun, very exciting. But yeah, so it was pretty chill. Like I didn't buy anything at the convention except a couple keychains from Swami Tsunami, who's an artist guy that I buy a lot of his stuff from. It's all over my house, but it's awesome. It was just a lot of fun going. It was great hanging out with Ant. A lot of drama within the
tea.
Yeah, there's a lot of tea. There's some YouTubers that have been caught for being sex pests. That
fun.
Yeah. One actually relatively well. That you.
Oh.
I would say isn't your favorite, but was always kind of around.
I'm curious who we're talking about.
Yeah, here. I'm trying to give you hints.
I see that, but I don't know what the hell you're trying to tell me.
You'll figure it out anyway.
You could just message me.
Yeah, and then there was a Pokemon, very 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 famous Pokemon YouTuber, who is no longer part of the. A part of like anybody wants to hang out with. I can message you actually. I think as long as this doesn't come up on. Nope, it does. So I can't because Discord is on the stream.
Well, anyway, you can text me if you really wanted to.
That's true. Yeah. So that was a little bit awkward because we ended up having to dodge and ditch around. A little bit.
You had to skulk around to make sure you didn't get seen by the wrong people.
Well, yeah, because one of them wasn't a big problem, but one of them was difficult, and especially because the victim or one of them didn't want to be a part of the issue. You know what I mean? Like didn't want it to kind of become a thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Surprise.
Mike
but anyway.
just texted me. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was a bit of a disappointing and an issue. So that was a little weird, but it was good hanging out with Derek. I met our editor again, Hexen. She worked on a video or two. Yeah, that was really cool. But it was a good time all around. You know, there was a couple nights where we sat around, drank, and played Smash, and just like shot the shit. And then there were some nights where we just hung out in the hotel rooms and had a good time. I hung out with Naveed a lot. You know, we went out and we got dinner, and I ate at Wawa all weekend. The only other meal I had was there's a all you can eat sushi bar that we go to on Sundays, like after the con.
Hell yeah.
So I ate a lot of sushi there, but everything else was Wawa. I just want to live at a Wawa. It's Hoagie Fest, bro. It's Hoagie Fest.
Hoagie Fest, dude. That's my type of festival. Let me tell you.
It was great.
Holy shit. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. It was a fun time. But anyway,
awesome.
Yeah, and then the drive home.
TMG's a good time. Just always. I did hear a little bit about your drive home, though.
Yeah, the drive home was my air conditioner died in New Jersey, and I had 4.5 hours left of 92 to 94 degree weather to drive home in with no air conditioning. So that was awful. I was just pouring water on my head the entire time.
Yeah, man, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and just like whatever was left from the blower, was able to
you go into a convenience store.
Cool.
You buy a pack of ice and you just put it on top of your shirt.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I got to get my air conditioner fixed, but otherwise,
have you checked to make sure it's just not the coolant? You didn't just run out of coolant.
I think if I ran out of coolant, wouldn't my engine overheat? My
I don't
my
know
engine
enough about cars.
my engine was
I don't know.
perfect. Yeah, I kept checking my
So,
engine.
yeah, maybe.
It was fine, but yeah,
Your car yells at you about coolant. Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. No, so it was there was that was rough. But shout out to some new people I met. The game apologist, Nick was really cool. And some other guys that just were like hanging around. This dude named Beardy, he had a friend there that was really cool. People were like texting me, check out, make sure I made it home.
I like that.
Yeah, we played some fighting games with those guys. It was a lot of fun. So I just I really enjoyed myself, and it was cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both went out of town this last weekend. You were supposed to get a video this last weekend, and for sponsorship issue reasons, you didn't.
We recorded it. We wrote it. Tyler edited.
Recorded it, wrote it. The hardest part is edited, but we're probably gonna have to redo the whole fucking thing, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
But Mike went out of town for TMG. I was out of town for Seattle Pride, which was a lot of fun. Despite Portland being a very gay city, it has a terrible pride. Our pride is really, really small and not very good.
Weird.
But Jack, my partner, is almost always, every year that I've been with them, they're invited to go and they get paid to both DJ and drag perform in Seattle. So we go to Seattle Pride because we're already there, right? So we drove up to Seattle Pride. Jack did their drag show, which was really cool. They used some. They lettered in color guard in high school, which I didn't know was a thing you could do because my school didn't have color guard.
I don't even. What is color guard? Is that just the people who march with the band?
Yeah, and spin the flags and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to get really good at spinning things. So Jack did a whole performance. We basically went to an Ace Hardware and built them a baton out of parts, so that they could do spins and stuff with a baton for their performance. And then Jack was like, "Hey, can you like sit in the front row or like in the first 2 rows and then get a video of it so I can show it to other people who want to hire me?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally. That's what is your partner there for if not to record a video of you drag performing, right?"
Right.
And I start recording Jack's performance, and it's really good, and I like have like the perfect spot for it. And right in the fucking middle of Jack's performance, this motherfucker just stands up and walks up in front of the stage and starts recording their own fucking video in front of everybody else who's recording, including like the professional photographers and shit.
Oh my God.
This was what my video looked like, Mike.
Okay. Wow.
This motherfucker was in front, standing up in front of the stage, in front of everybody.
Dude, you gotta,
for the entire, not just Jack's performance, everybody's performance.
You gotta
for
get
the first half.
dude. You gotta get it. You gotta get it, man. This guy didn't give a fuck. That's crazy. Yeah,
that's the most white dude thing ever.
That is the most white
and by the way,
ever.
that is the most white dude thing ever at IndigiQueer, which is the indigenous queer event.
It's very specific. God damn.
Yeah. All caps, of course.
Dude, he conquistadored the fucking audience, man. Like from east to west, I am the best.
Crazy. For those of you who are only listening to audio, Jack is on stage here. You can see about half of them because there is a person in a purple, blue, orange shirt that is just covering up half the stage.
Mm-hmm.
In my recording, you can see I get fucking angry in the middle of it because I start like shaking. Like I had like a very steady hand, and then I start getting mad and fucking shaking. It was crazy. But the rest of Pride was really fun. Yeah, we went up Thursday. We had lunch with Bronte on Friday. That was really fun.
Yeah, you had mentioned that you might do that. That's cool.
Yeah. I messaged Bronte. I was like, "Oh, Bronte lives up there. I might as well message and be like, yo, do you want to get lunch?" And Bronte had a recommendation for an awesome Chinese place that we're going to go back to like every fucking time we go up now. It was so good and so cheap for what you get.
Nice.
That was it was the type of place where like you get there. Bronte was like, this place looks run down. It doesn't look like it's open. And we get there, and this place is so run down and old that the the phone number on the sign doesn't have an area code on it.
Okay.
Like, that's how old this place was.
Wow. All right. That's awesome.
It was so good.
Hell yeah. That sounds awesome. I'm
Yeah. So it was a really fun lunch. We had a great time hanging out with Bronte. Jack's performances went well. Performance of them DJ'd. And then we went to the actual, like, Pride the next day. And just, like, walked around, got drinks. Like, Jack bought a couple things. I didn't see anything this year that I really wanted to buy. I usually find, like, one or two things. But there just wasn't as much... Like, normally you'll find, like, nerdy shit that's also gay. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And this time there just wasn't as much nerdy shit. Although Jack did get a shirt of two, like, the regular Pokemon Mew and the shiny Mew, and the shirt says only gay people can read this, and that's a really great shirt.
That's a pretty good shirt. Yeah, I didn't buy shit at TMG just because, like, I don't have any room for anything. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking the whole time. And I was like, you know, like, I love collecting old games, but, you know, I spent money on the hotel, so I'm not gonna, you know, spend another, like, $150 on a video game I'm probably not gonna play or can't stream, or, you know, already having a collection of re-releases.
We can get to it. There's a game I want us to check out that we could maybe co-op together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It'd be fun. We'll see. We'll see.
Keep it on the back of your mind, so when we get there.
Yeah. I did want to mention one more thing that was funny that happened in Seattle over lunch with Bronte. When you go to a Chinese place, obviously you get fortune cookies at the end of your meal, right? So we all got our fortunes. I don't personally like fortune cookies, so I typically give mine to Jack, who will eat it instead. Bronte's already fucking laughing. But, like, Bronte got, like, a boring fortune that was barely a fortune. Jack got, like, an okay one. This was my fortune, Mike, and it really busted all of us up.
I can only imagine. You would do well to work as a team in the coming week. There we go.
I got that, and I was like, well, I'm fucked.
Oh my god.
I thought it was very funny that I got a fortune specifically about you for the upcoming week. Mike, we really got to work as a team this week. I don't know what's going on, but we got to do it.
Yeah, well, what we got to do is we got to get that fucking sponsor to get their shit over to me so we can make our goddamn video is what we have to do.
For real.
Yeah. And we are, by the way, for people who have been missing the podcast, there are podcasts that we record, we do live, that don't make it to the podcast feed on like Spotify or whatever, for whatever reason. Our last one didn't. There were some good parts in it. We were laughing about Elon Musk, like, being a legitimate fucking crackhead, like, all the time. How his last day at work, he came in, like, just the fact that he was doing mushrooms, Molly, weed, ketamine, and ADHD medication all at the same time while working in the government and destroying people's lives.
That's a lot.
That's insane.
That is a lot.
That is insane. We went into all of that. That was a lot of fun, but it didn't make it to the Spotify feed. But it is on the Bonsai Pop Live YouTube channel. So if you guys want to go check that out, you can see the live podcast where me and Tyler sit here and we talk. We talk with the patrons in the Super Saiyan 4 tier. It's a good time. And we go and do the podcast live. So if you subscribe to that channel, you will never miss a podcast ever again. So, and if you want another one, we do the Patreon PopCast, which is always a good time. We're going to get back on track. I feel a lot better. I think I mean, I'm still tired. Obviously, I'm still dealing with all the stuff that I'm always going to be dealing with. But after going out and, like, you know, hanging out with everybody,
reintegrating into society.
Yeah, and just, like, you know, like, kind of realizing that, like, people haven't forgotten about me, people miss me, people, you know, liked having me there, like, it was really nice. Gave me a little bit of energy, gave me a little bit of, like, you know, a little bit of inspiration. Ant Dude has 3 channels. He has a slap channel, he has a sleep channel. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff that Tyler and I have been talking about. Yeah, like, just starting to do, like, more content in more fun ways, and opening it up so, like, you know, we don't have to do the sponsors necessarily on the Bonsai Pop channel. We can just stick to those long videos that everybody wants. You know, kind of talking about about all that, hanging out with people with smaller YouTube channels. You know, there's some people out there that are really cool. They're always around, but they have smaller YouTube channels, and kind of seeing what they're doing, remembering what it was like back in the day, and you know, just having an all around good time with good people. YouTubers are weird. One of the things that we did on the last night, a lot of people were waiting for their plans, like Booker, who's a tattoo streamer, Fansly person, she was waiting for her plane. Connor the Waffle and his friend JP were waiting for their planes. We were all just kind of talking. We did you know, what is our autistic like our current autistic special interest, and we all went around the room and introduced each other and started talking about it. And mine was extragalactic objects that are flying through our solar system, which we can get into.
Sounds about right.
Recently there was an object that flew through our solar system that was not from our galaxy. That was kind of inexplicable because it was oblong shaped. It was flipping around all sorts of weird ways, and it flew by the sun and sped up on its way out, which is actually not how things work in space. There is no explicable reason as to why it sped up. Sometimes comets speed up because when they get closer to the sun, the gas from the ice will like propel it a little bit, but this wasn't a comet. There was no ice, there was no gas.
Yeah, so I guess gravity doesn't like make things speed up or slow down. It just like
changes trajectory. Yeah. It doesn't slingshot like you think it would.
Right. Because that was in my mind. I was like, well, wouldn't it slingshot? But that's not really a thing.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Some people think it could be aliens, but anyway, so when we got to the game apologist Nick, he was like, oh, I have so many, and Anthony was like, dude, come on, just be real, like you got one, you have one. He's like, fine, it's green, it's the color green right now. And like Anthony was like, dude, he bought pickleballs last night and didn't eat them, and he only bought them because they were green, and me and Ant ate them because they were fucking delicious. But yeah, no, Game Apologist, super cool guy.
That's the thing.
Huh?
Jack has a certain color of blue that they like to eat.
Okay.
Some people just really like certain colors. Like Jack loves like the very bright, almost neon blue, like electric blue. They will eat that. If we're at the store and there's like a cupcake that has that type of frosting on it, I have to steer them away. They really like to eat that blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick also, I told him so he's obsessed with Ninja Turtles, and I was like, I live in the place where Ninja Turtles was invented. And he was like, what? Where? And I was like, yeah, like not only do I live there, I used to live a block away from where the inspiration for April O'Neil lived. And it was actually a girl that he would peep on all the time and kind of stalk and sexually harass. And he had like a telescope and he'd look in her window all the time. And I was like, I know where he lives now. He lives in a shit shack with a Herbie the Love Bug outside, because that's what he drives around, is a Herbie the Love Bug. And he was like, Nick's mind was blown. He was like, I'm going. Like, I'm leaving tomorrow and I'm going there. And I was like, all right. Like, you know, I should have got his number. I could have told him a bunch of cool places to go. But hopefully he had a good time, because he's from Iowa. Like a lot of like Connor the Waffle's from Idaho. Yeah.
Well, I mean, these are good places to be if you're like a mid-range YouTuber, because it's cheap. Yeah,
for sure. But
we'd be living a lot better if we didn't live on the coast.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And a lot of the, like, one of the things we all kind of talked about is like, we were just swapping like life stories. So obviously, I told some stories that people here have definitely heard. People in the streams definitely heard, and I got the same looks I always do. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? How did you? Like, right? Like, oh, like, because Ant, what was interesting with him is, Ant kind of was your typical. Like he was telling me, he was like, when I moved, I wore a Pac-Man shirt to school on my first day. Like, I was on a campus, it was like this new thing, and like the first thing somebody said was like, are you wearing a fucking Pac-Man shirt? And he was like, it was over from there. I was just done. Like, I didn't want to, you know what I mean? It was like
it was over.
Yeah,
dude, Pac-Man shirt's cool,
right? But it wasn't then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's our age, so it was he just he had a very kind of like reclusive high school life.
Dude,
and
now that shit would hit.
yeah,
That's
for
all
sure.
I'm saying.
And that's how he started his YouTube channel, and that's what he did. And like a lot of people, had other very like, Naveed, for instance. Naveed is he's first generation Iranian. And he or Iranian, sorry, and he grew up in North Carolina, and it was a very small town. He's he's a nice, quiet dude. So like he didn't have any of the crazy experiences that I had. I was telling him about the dude who used to shoot up in my house and then like fucking play with his ninja swords. Oh yeah. And then wake up and throw a fucking shoot, like, yeah, and like Ant was like, man, like, how are you around all these people like that all the time and never like fell into it? Like all these people sound like they're crazy, and I was like, yeah, they are, but like I'm also crazy. You know what I mean? It was just like I had
you have your own crazy.
Yeah, I had like
your own brand.
I wanted better for myself.
Yeah.
Like I had places that I wanted to go and things that I wanted to do, and these guys had like no hope or no aspirations. And I told myself always, no heroin, no crack, no coke, no meth, nothing that could get me into trouble like that. Never do anything that could give me like a crazy record, all that stuff, and just stick to that. And yeah, eventually I made it out, and I was like, and that's why I don't really have any friends around me anymore, is because like a lot of them are dead, and also the rest of them are just either still doing the same thing, or like, I mean, their brains are so fucking melted from 15, 16, 17 years of doing like hard drugs and living like trash and not taking care of themselves, that they're basically zombies, and it's like,
yeah,
that's why like going to TMG is so special, because not only am I meeting people that are in the same industry as we are, which it can be very isolating. You're hanging out with people from like all different walks of life that you never would have met anyway else. Like I would have never met some fucking dude from Idaho. You know what I mean? Like
right,
and like spent good time with them.
Yeah, it's a mini microcosm of what the channel does too, right? Of what basically every channel does. So you become part of a community. There's people in that community from all over the place, from all sorts of different things. I mean, our community has people that have had a shitload and a range of different experiences from all around the globe, and they meet each other and become friends and hang out. I mean, our good friend now, Sammy, that we met through Treesicle and Bonsai Pop, is good friends with one of our mods, Conaway, who lives in France?
Yep.
Like he's learning French, through Duolingo, and he lives in Wisconsin. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, he lives in like the asshole of Wisconsin too. Not like it's not like he's in shit. What the fuck is the one city in Wisconsin?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Is the one where Jeffrey Dahmer killed all those little Filipino boys? Madison? No, Madison? The other one. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah, Milwaukee. So anyway, I'm pretty sure. Don't get me on Milwaukee. I'm 90% sure that's in Wisconsin. Anyway,
it's actually in Oregon. We have our own Milwaukee. It's
I know,
at the end.
I know you do. But yeah, so
we were talking about Clackamas when you were here last.
Clackamas.
Clackamas.
I come from Clackamas. But yeah, I was telling him, I was like, I like you guys way better than I liked anybody I used to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like this is way better. But yeah, it was interesting, like hearing about where everybody like kind of grew up and how they grew up, and way different from the shit that I did. But I was like, man, like. It was kind of the same thing where like you guys were like, you didn't fit in your way, I didn't fit in my way, and my way is obviously different than your guys' way, but like, we all ended up in the same place because we didn't fit in somewhere, like we all ended up on YouTube trying to reach out to people who have the same interests that we do. And I think it's in that way we are very similar people, where like we took it upon ourselves to do something about it,
Yeah, there's a connecting thread.
Yeah.
Like there's always a connecting thread between almost all YouTubers that aren't fucking assholes. I mean, there still is between us and assholes too, to an extent, because they're still reaching out to relate to somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's very much like that too. I mean, it's like Loxton is one of my good friends now because we live relatively close to each other. I'm going over to his place for 4th of July.
Nice.
Also, but it's like I never would have met him without YouTube.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what
no.
I mean?
He's
Like,
he's such a weird dude.
I mean, he's very introverted, definitely on the spectrum for autism, but like he's great. His entire friend group is great. We love going out there to hang out with them.
Mhm.
I get mad at myself because I told him I'm just gonna set a fucking alarm on my phone for every 2 weeks to message you. Because you suck at reaching out, I suck at reaching out. That's why we don't see each other for 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah, Loxton's a very incredibly wholesome person who tends to generate other relationships with wholesome people, and it's just so nice and relaxing going and seeing them and just spending time with them.
Him and his wife.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. But yeah, Scott the Waz didn't come out this year. He hasn't come out for a while. There's reasons for that that are beyond his control. Yeah, it's still going on, dude. We're talking
crazy.
We're upwards of thousands of emails like that are still coming, dude. Like that shit is nuts. So Eventually it'll fix itself, I'm sure. You know, it's been legal battles and stuff because it's so difficult. It's so difficult to protect yourself online and have anybody take that seriously, especially now. But yeah, just wild stuff. You know, I think creators are generally politically aligned, except for that one person that I sent you earlier, who has also gone down a complete, fucking Liver King, awful right-wing pipeline, which has been totally terrible. Come to Fan Expo in Boston so I can get an autograph. Dude, I will just, meet you anywhere and give you an autograph. Like, I don't care. Like, my autograph is worth, less than the check I sign it on, yeah, man, I'll mail you an autograph. I'll mail you a video game with an autograph on it. I don't care. You've been here forever. But yeah, Fan Expo, huh? When is Fan Expo? What is Fan? I don't remember what Fan Expo is.
It's an anime convention, I think.
Oh, is it?
I think it would be fun to do. I could be wrong. Fan culture. Maybe it's not. Fan Expo Boston. Let's take a look-see.
Yeah. Well, Fan
Expo Boston. It has a bunch of stuff. Sci-fi, horror. So it's not one particular thing.
Cool. Devin says we really need to go to anime expos. So here's the thing about that is the reason that going to video game conventions is good and fun is because the video game community is good and fun. Like the creator community. The anime community doesn't exist. The anime creator community does not fucking exist. Especially in America. There are few to zero other anime creators in America. There are zero that have reached out to us in any way whatsoever. So if there are a bunch of people out there, we don't know who they are. Devin says we can go to Anime Expo in Japan. That would be even worse because the idea is to go somewhere where your presence is helpful. Right? That's why
we are not big enough people for Fan Expo, let me tell you. They're top stars this year. Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, John Cena, Orlando Bloom.
Well, again, so Fan Expo already sounds like something that's as big as Anime Boston. They're the main characters in the Star Wars prequels, Devin, or the main character actors for the Star Wars prequels, that big. And that's part of the issue is that anime expos bring voice actors, and people will go there to see voice actors, and they pay voice actors a shit ton of money. And even though YouTubers, anime space is a little difficult, even though YouTubers, especially in the video game space, can bring in a fucking giant crowd, all the money goes to the voice actors. But the voice actors generally don't hang out with anybody. You know what I mean? It's not like they're chilling out after the con with other creators and stuff. They do their thing and then they fuck off because they're special, I guess.
Like, the thing is, right? We've never been to an anime convention. It would be good to go to one just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
And
to let people know
it would be worth going. Yeah, like let people know, like, hey, we're gonna be here for this convention on these dates. If there's one in Boston we could go to, or like Portland has KomoriCon, which isn't massive or anything, but it's from what I hear, it's fun. And Jack knows like one of the people who's in charge of it, so it would be possible for us to like get guest passes or whatever for it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not a big con, like we might actually be able to draw people enough for them to give us like rooms,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, but it could be fun. I'd like to. It's been a long time since I've like gone to a convention correctly. Like I've been to like Comic-Con for Portland. I've been to PRG, which is another gaming convention that a lot of YouTubers like to go to. Portland Retro Game Expo. It's a great convention. It's really cool. They have a great arcade. I think it's like the Tetris World Championships or something happen there every year or something like that. But typically Jack ends up DJing part of it, so we tend to get free guest passes for it, which is cool.
Dude. Yeah. Speaking of like voice actor type people, you remember that story of me hanging out with the Power Rangers? And how I said I would never hang out with the Power Rangers again? The White Ranger died, dude.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I hung out with the Power Rangers.
No. I'm never hanging out with the Power Rangers again, dude. I've never been that sick in my entire life. Yeah, I know. I found out he's been dead.
He's been dead.
I didn't know that until I went to this convention. They were like, yeah, the White Ranger died. I was like, that White Ranger? Like the one I spent the entire night with in New Jersey? That was 2022. That's crazy. That's crazy that I'm not surprised, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised the Red Ranger wasn't dead. He went way harder. But anyway, yeah, that was wild news. A lot of wild news, like interpersonal wild news when I was there. But yeah, it was a good time. I want to do it more. It's hard with like everybody goes to MagFest, and I would love to go to MagFest again, but I got so sick, and even Naveed was like, yeah, I got COVID last year when I went to MagFest, and like I'm just
you're super rolling the dice on MagFest. It's so big, there's so many people, it's all inside. It's
the worst time of year.
What I mean?
It's the worst dead of winter year. Usually like New Year's, so it's really tough. But yeah, like I like Retro World Expo in Connecticut. It's a bad time of year because a lot of our friends who go to like too many games, they go to PAX West. I don't want to go to PAX West. Right. I don't like PAX. I fucking hate PAX.
We've done PAX.
Yeah.
I've done PAX too many times.
This point. Yeah, it's like, and that's the thing is like, this trip wasn't perfect. Like, I couldn't sleep the night before I left. So when I got there, dude, I was mortified. So when I got to the convention, again, 5-hour white knuckle drive, just like gripping the steering wheel. I showed up to the convention. It was hot all weekend. It was like 85 to 90 all fucking weekend. I got there, like I had to put like a gallon of eye drops in, and I got on the floor. I was talking to Derek. Derek was like, dude, I'm going right onto a panel. Like, I'm not going to be available for like an hour. And I was like, all right, I'll go find Ant. I found Ant. Instantly got like anxious. I was feeling dizzy because if you haven't been to a convention, especially in the heat, the atmosphere is thick. There's a heaviness to the atmosphere because so many people are breathing, so many people, and so I walked in, I was like, oh god, I finally found Ant and everybody, and Ant's like, hey dude, like fuck yeah man, like what's up dude, like blah blah blah. I was like, hey, it's so good to see you. And he's like, what have you been up to? And I was like, hanging out.
Nothing.
He's like, oh, how's the channel doing, man? I was like, all right. He's like, and I just couldn't come up with like an answer for anything. And I saw Naveed, and like I didn't say hi to him. I saw Luis, and I didn't say hi. And I was like, dude, I think I gotta go back to the hotel and like take a nap, dude. I'm so fucking I gotta go. And I like basically like ran away. And I went and I took a nap, and like I felt a little bit better. And then I went out and I met them. I was like, dude, guys, I'm so I'm so sorry. But I was feeling like really bad about myself. I was like, dude, am I like socially dead? Like, can I not fucking do this? Like, am I like, is it the medication that's making me like fucking boring? Like, you know what I mean? And it was just, it was like really nerve wracking. But when I went out the second time, I started talking. I was like, I sounded you. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry I didn't say hi. I felt like a dead zombie, and like everything was like totally cool and natural from that point on. But I was tired, man. Like I never really got that sleep back, And then the night we had some drinks, like that, like put me kind of like into like another like like I wasn't hungover or anything, but it was
it's night one at a con. You are going to have enough drinks that day two feels like shit. That's just how it is.
I think it was day 2 that we had the drinks. I don't remember, but regardless, it was like it was just like a little bit like the day after that, even though I didn't like, again, I think I had like 5 over the course of 5 hours, like totally acceptable,
Sure.
Yeah. And I was eating just fine because I had the Wawa right there, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Wawa, Hoagie Fest,
ready
Hoagie
to
Fest.
go.
But that was day 2. Yeah, day 1 I chilled in the lobby. Yeah, day 1 I just relaxed with Ali and Naveed and a couple other people. Watch people play Pokemon cards, which still I don't understand how to play that game. But yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, in Anime Expo, like I wouldn't go to Anime Expo. I'd want to go to something like KomoriCon or MomoCon or something like a little bit smaller.
Yeah, a smaller
something
one,
like that, where like us being there would mean something, and people would be like excited. Because at Anime Expo, everybody's like, "Oh, the voice of Goku." Like, holy shit, they're never going to give you a booth. They're never going to give you anything. You're going to have to pay your entire way and, lose however much money you would make from not making videos or podcasts or streams or, whatever. It's just not worth going. Also, I wouldn't want to go to LA.
No fucking kidding.
Yeah. So it's just tough. It's tough with anime conventions, and also like we would go there and we wouldn't know anybody. We wouldn't have any group to be excited about hanging out with after the con.
Like at least if we went to like KomoriCon, even if we didn't know anybody there, it's like, well, we could go hang out with like Loxton afterwards, Grant, there's still a group here that we could hang out with and do stuff with.
Exactly. I think that's why we just need to have that YouTuber vacation. And it's also good for like people within that atmosphere to have a place where they can go and not be working, because even when you're at a con, you're still working. Granted, nobody recognized me this year, but I also didn't tell anybody I was going to be there, so nobody was looking for me. I was just like anonymous, which was pretty nice. But like Ant Dude, he's been doing this for so long. He's got such a consistent fan base that like he gets swarmed. Derek gets swarmed. Vinny Vinesauce gets swarmed. You know what I mean? It's
sure.
Yeah, poor Vinny. He's so shy, dude. Like he can't even hang out after cons because he's so tired. But regardless, the anime convention thing is tough.
I've learned pretty, like, I kind of have like a 6-hour social clock. Yeah. I can basically do 6 hours with people, and from that point on, my brain like shuts off and I'm just done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I understand that, but
6 hours is a lot. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm lucky I have that much, but it's like a hard cutoff for me. And then after that 6 hours is up, like I just stop talking. I like stop thinking, and I stop listening.
6 hours is a third of a day at a con.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you're usually waking up somewhere around like 10 or 11. You head to the con floor. You're there forever. You go out to eat. Go out to dinner. You hang out with people until 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and you do it again all weekend.
Right.
Until you go home.
Do it and you do it and you do it again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's important to take care of yourself during cons, and it's hard to do it because there's always stuff that you want to or should be doing.
Yep. And you know, there's a certain level of like FOMO too. It's like, oh, if I go take a nap, you know, am I gonna wake up? Everybody's gonna be out doing something. You know, am I gonna be able to? Like...
And it's like you get 2 or 3 days max, you know, to see the people you want to see. So it's like not only is there the FOMO aspect, but it's you're on a clock too. It's like you have a limited amount of time to see the people you want to see and do the things you want to do.
Yeah.
So you don't want to like you don't want to lose any of that by doing like things like self-care. That's crazy.
Yeah. Or like, and it's even worse if you have to work, right? So like Friday, Derek, the day before had driven 12 hours from Indiana, right? And then Friday he worked from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. at that con. He had panels, he had signings, he had guest appearances, he had more panels. Yeah. Like, I just cannot imagine. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not always all fun and games.
I remember, like, even, you know, when we would go to PAX as, what do they call it?
I mean, we were guests.
When you're press.
Press.
At PAX. And, like, when you're press at a convention, specifically something like PAX, you don't just like go in and walk around to the booths. You have a schedule that you have planned out weeks in advance where I used to spend like 2 months fucking emailing people back and forth, setting up times. And then when we would go to PAX, we would have a schedule for every single day that was fucking booked to the brim with maybe a half-hour break. If we're lucky, we had an hour for lunch.
Yeah, we still had to stay at shitty fucking hostels, too. It's not like we were getting, like, set up in a hotel room.
No, fuck no.
Yeah, so, you know.
It was constant, you know? And you were lucky to get, like, an hour to not do something. And then, like, that was fun, but it was also exhausting. And you would be done on day 3. And then you'd be like, "Oh my god, I need a vacation. This was a lot."
Yeah, and then after, like, all the meetings and everything, you'd get invited out to developer parties and shit like that, like rooftop parties, and you'd run into your friends, and you're so tired, and you start, you know, drinking. You don't realize, like, I don't know if you've ever drank when you're like extremely tired, but you get to the you don't. It's hard to understand if you're just still incredibly tired or super drunk. And then the next morning you wake up and you're like, oh, fuck. And then you have to go do everything while you're incredibly hungover, too. And it just makes it worse. And it's hot and it's awful and you just want to die. Like,
dude, that's exactly what happened during, like, I don't remember if it was the last PAX or the one before that. Whatever one we went to the Tiny Build, like,
that was the last time I went to PAX. I was like, I'm never going to PAX again.
We went to, like, the Tiny Build pre-show. Tiny Build, for those who don't know, Hello Neighbor and stuff like that, which for Treesicle was like a big deal. Like we did Hello Neighbor content and stuff, so it made sense that they invited us. But it was the day before PAX. It was like PAX started on Friday. It was Thursday night, and not only was it like they rented out a bar/restaurant that also had like an attached screening room where they could show, you know, it's like a small like stadium seating movie style thing. Cool. So you went and you did that. It was very cool. You went and you did that and you watched like what they had coming up. And then the restaurant was open with free food and drinks for everybody who had seen the screening so that you could meet and talk with the developers and maybe do some of the, they had like, you know, not trailers, but demos set up for like the things that were coming out, which was like a really good idea. It was a really good time, but it was the day before the convention. And we got so fucked because we were there until like 1 a.m. or something, or 2 a.m. Drinking and eating and talking with people that the first day of the convention, we woke up and were like,
I was so sick. We
were all
fucking
fucked.
Sick. Well, so the one of the things you missed is that there was only 2. It was an open bar, but there was only 2 drinks, and one of them was disgusting, and the other one was tequila sunrise.
Yes,
and so we drank tequila sunrise all fucking night.
Tequila sunrises until we died,
which is tequila and orange juice. One of the most sugary things like you could possibly drink, and I think we each had like 10 of them.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, tequila sunrises. It was a lot of tequila, which I hate personally. I'm not a tequila person. Orange juice was just insanely sugary, and then they added a good amount of grenadine. There was a lot of red in those, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And grenadine is like sugar on crack. It has so much fucking sugar in it. It's insane, dude. Yeah, that was such a terrible fuck. God, we got fucked.
And then we walked around Seattle all night to find cigars, and then we had cigars because we were like cranked on sugar and tequila. So we're like, yeah, we gotta go get Victory cigars. We haven't seen each other in like a year and a half. Like, let's go do it. So I woke up in the morning, and you wouldn't have loved to meet us at that con. Because I would like, dude, every time we got in the elevator, I had to sit down because I was so fucking. I was like, oh man, dude, fuck. Like, we skipped all our meetings that day, I think, and went back to the. God, that was so bad. And then I was like, I'm never doing this. I'm never going to PAX again. Because not only is PAX West hot, but it's also in Seattle. And we had a 25-minute walk from our hostel every day up and down hills to get to the con. And then the con is vertical. So every single floor is up another, or every single, like, you know, con space is up a floor, down a floor, up another floor, down a floor. Like, it was just, like, over and over and over and over. Oh, my God. Yeah. That was a nightmare.
Yeah, our like saving grace was like the subway on the way to fucking the convention where you could get some form of sustenance that wasn't like $20 a plate.
Yep.
Because everything, if you eat at a convention, A, terrible idea.
Terrible
Don't eat
food.
at a convention.
Very
terrible
bad.
food. But B, it's also insanely expensive. So you want to eat as far away from the convention as you possibly can without having to go far away from the convention.
Yeah. Yeah, it was yeah, exactly, Aaron. It was wild. But yeah, this one was better. I was still really tired, but I was also, you know, I'm older now. We're all older now, so when I needed it, I was just like, dude, Unc is tired, man. I'm going back. I'm taking a nap. I'll see you in a couple hours, you know, that kind of deal. Like, I was one of the ones that had what con was it that you had to do the interview hungover? I mean, what con wasn't it? Like, do you remember the panel at MagFest? we were just kind of we were just like, yeah, so what are we doing again? Like
YouTube.
It's like, is that like 9 a.m. like 9 a.m. after hanging out all night, man?
Yeah.
It was so fucking brutal, dude. We gotta get invited to EtchyCon. I've actually been here. Remember EtchyCon? No, you remember EtchyCon?
Remember.
I was like, oh, this would be sick. It's like out in Texas. But apparently it's good. Like, I met some people that went to EtchyCon. They were like, yo, you gotta come out. You gotta come out. Like, it's fucking awesome. I was like, all right, I'll hit them up again. You know, see how it goes. Maybe they got enough money for rooms and flights. Right? I mean,
listen, man. You never know. We can start a show on Pornhub, an Etchy review show.
Just like that would be so fun.
Just like Jesse Cox, right? Doesn't he have something like that?
Oh, I don't know. Oh yeah. Like he has something like that.
Gentleman's Hour or some shit.
Oh yeah, the Gentleman's Anime Review Club or something. I don't fucking remember.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
I don't know how ad revenue works on Pornhub.
Apparently it's phenomenal.
Really?
From what I've heard. Yeah, apparently the money that you make per view on Pornhub is like crazy good compared to basically anywhere else on the internet.
That's crazy. New meta content creation, like actual video essays on Pornhub. Yeah, I don't blame people. Yeah, because that's the problem is the ads are like, hey you, are you sick of jerking off alone? Like,
but I think that's a really funny way to break up a Bonsai Pop video.
That would be really funny. Advertised for the weird Pornhub one on the YouTube one, but
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so that's
I saw at Pride. I did see a hat that was the Pornhub like colors and logo, but instead it said hentai as opposed to Pornhub.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, that's what's been going on with us. Like we said earlier, we had a video that we wrote, we recorded, Tyler edited half of it, and then we weren't able to put it out, and we need to re-record it whenever our sponsorship thing comes through. So that will be a thing.
Mike was like, you could at least put what you edited up on the Patreon. I was like, we still need to put out the video. Like,
Yeah.
we're still going to be using, like, when it comes to editing, for people who don't know, like, you do have the ability to essentially switch out clips. It means that I'm going to have to do a lot of work of, like, fixing timing and stuff like that, but I don't want all that editing to go to waste. So I didn't want to, like, just give it away on the Patreon because it's still going to be used.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, like, we can talk about that video. In fact, we can get into anime. That would be a great
you think we're ready?
A great segue. Yeah.
All right. Tyler, how was your anime week? There we go. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
All right. How was it?
Well, you fucked my anime week, Mike.
I did?
Let me tell you. Yeah, it's all your fault. Here's the thing, right? Mike wrote a script that was on Fairy Tail, kind of. Like, it was Fairy Tail adjacent, I would say. Kind of like how our Lazarus video was, like, Lazarus adjacent.
Yeah.
You know, it has a lot more going on than just the show, but we connect it back to anime in some way. But because I was editing that video, I started watching fucking Fairy Tail again.
Oh, no.
That's the problem, man. Like, here's the thing about Fairy Tail, right? People hate Fairy Tail. I found a lot, doing research for this video and finding, like, Reddit posts and stuff, there's a lot of people that hate Fairy Tail.
Okay, so they hate it. All right.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that do not like Fairy Tail. And I can understand why, because it definitely has a downward trajectory in terms of quality and story and everything.
Yeah,
and
I've gotten to episode, like, maybe I think I might be in the 200s. I don't know, but, like, it definitely, like, the art style changes from season 1 to season 2, which I didn't love. And then, there's a little bit of a, I can feel a little bit of a drop off.
If you look at, like, for example, supply and demand graph, right, where, like, supply goes up, demand goes down, or as demand goes up, supply goes down, right, and you have, like, that X.
Yeah.
That X graph is the exact same graph for Fairy Tail quality to fan service.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, there was an undies shot in the Kingdom tournament thing. I was like, they did an undies shot. Like, yeah.
Fairy Tail starts off, like, with, I mean, it has fan service for sure, but it's not insane. Yeah. You know, you can go, like, 50 episodes before they start tearing people's clothes off.
Or I don't even think there's clothes that are fully torn off until...
No, never fully. Never, like, fully torn off.
Just torn off.
There's always bits covering bits, you know? But it doesn't really start doing that until you get further in. And the quality goes down as that goes up. For sure.
Yeah. It's
but here's the thing, it's still, like, each is a part of your brain that feels good to scratch. You know what I mean? Like, there's a piece of Fairy Tail, and part of it is, like, you talked about the music in the script.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember Fairy Tail's fucking theme song. So I listened to it before I started watching it. And I was like, oh my god, right, this theme song fucking slaps. It's so fucking good. God damn it.
Yeah, it's like,
and now it's like in my podcast, in my playlist of things that I listen to. Because I just love, like, the feel of it, and it's got, like, that perfect energy and fantasy elements to it with, like, I think you said it was a fiddle in there or whatever it was, but
fiddles, mandolins. Like,
it's so fucking good. Yeah, folk instruments, but it's like folk with an energy that I love. It feels so good to listen to.
Yeah, it's folk with high beats per minute and, like, you know, guitar fucking licks, you know, like.
Yeah, I think if and when you have to re-record this video, we should put in, because towards the end of it, you say, like, there's a lot of Fairy Tail, which is fucking true. There's a lot worse things out there than Fairy Tail. I don't know if there's a lot worse things out there that have ran as long as Fairy Tail ran. You know what I mean? Like, fair, okay. But I definitely think that there's, like, an opportunity to be like, listen, we found way worse things than this. We did a whole video on things that are
that's true,
Fairy Tail. but like I totally agreed with your script in that like Fairy Tail's not that bad.
It's not.
There's definitely some things that I like in it. I like the way that the world works in a lot of ways. I think that like yeah, they dole out the plot slow as molasses, dude. You don't understand what dragon slayers are. Like you've probably gotten to that point, right?
Not, I mean, to a degree, yes, what they are, but not like how the modern ones exist yet. You know what I mean? Like obviously,
Oh, like Loxus,
or like for the no, like that's, I mean, that's, they ate some like fucking magic bubble or something, but like no, like how were Natsu and Wendy and like how and why were they raised by dragons now? You know what I mean? Like you have, I swear I'm in like the 200s and we still haven't gotten to that. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's doled out slow as fuck.
Yeah.
And like there's part of that where you're like, dude, come on, and there's another part of that where it's like, well, it keeps it interesting.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and
yeah,
the deal with the fucking Wizard of Death and
oh yeah, what the fuck's his name? Zarek?
The Book of Zareth or something like that.
Zareth?
Yeah,
Zarek,
maybe something like that. Yeah, and like his whole deal and like why does he know who Natsu is and yada yada yada, like all that stuff.
I think you got to watch Fairy Tail 0 for that, if I'm not mistaken.
They got to say something before the end of the series because
well, yeah. I mean, definitely, but Fairy Tail 0 is like all about like the original guild master of Fairy Tail and Zareth or Zarek or whatever
she
the fuck
rules.
his name is.
I love
she's
her.
great. Yeah, she's awesome.
All of your questions about Fairy Tail will be
cool.
answered by the end. Yeah, exactly. So that's and that's where I'm at too. I'm still watching Fairy Tail. I was watching Fairy Tail at the con, and that was another thing. Like I said in the script, you mentioned Fairy Tail, and some people are like, the anime sucks, and some people perk up. Like when I said it, somebody in was what I was doing. Somebody, I don't remember which one of them were. They were like, "Oh, did somebody say Fairy Tail? I love Fairy Tail." Like it was like it's one of those things where like
they're out there.
No, I haven't met like the Fairy Tail stan, but I also haven't met somebody who will just go on a tirade about why Fairy Tail is the worst anime of all time either. It's like, and I think
I mean they're out there, they're on Reddit, trust me. Like, but so like here's a funny thing. I can probably find it really quick. If you type worst shonen battle anime, first thing that comes up is a Reddit post from a year ago.
Okay.
When it comes to what is the worst anime / manga battle shonen, and then they have like a whole post where they talk about like all sorts of like Boruto's in there. The top answer is 7 Deadly Sins.
Okay.
I think that might be fair. 7 Deadly Sins gets real bad real quick.
Yeah.
But if you start looking at like the comments, I think Fairy Tail is mentioned more often than anything else.
Really?
Yeah. The original post mentions it. There's a post down that says Jujutsu Kaisen gets a lot of backlash for the last few arcs, but it's still not even close to as hated as Fairy Tail.
No, Jujutsu Kaisen kicks ass. There's somebody else who's complaining about it, but I think it's because they don't understand like the deconstructionism of certain shonen archetypes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another person, I'm not going to read their whole post, it's long, but their line is, to me, the most unanimously hated and shit on battle shonen to ever exist has to be Fairy Tail.
All right.
That's a strong statement. God damn.
That's a very strong statement.
And this person has a list of things from best to worst. They put Hunter x Hunter, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Bleach. This is from best to worst, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Naruto, Demon Slayer,
Bleach
Black
over
Clover.
Naruto.
Yeah.
This person is not. Okay.
Well, again, from best to worst. So they're starting Hunter x Hunter, Dragon Ball, One Piece. That's their top 3.
They're
then
already
Bleach,
wrong.
Naruto.
Okay.
Yeah, then Bleach, Naruto, Demon Slayer, Black Clover, 7 Deadly Sins, then Fairy Tail, and the worst of all is Boruto.
Okay.
So their bottom 2 is Fairy Tail and Boruto. So that it really, really puts it in perspective Fairy Tale, and then you know what I mean? But like, there's so many people who have mentioned Fairy Tale, but that also means all these people have watched Fairy Tale.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the thing. All these people that are hating on Fairy Tale, and this might be a good point to put in the video if we have to re-record it.
Mhm.
Every single person that's hating on Fairy Tale, all these fuckers have watched Fairy Tale.
Exactly. Yeah.
At some point, they liked it enough to watch it.
And I don't think it's any better or worse. It might even be better than like Black Clover. Like, I've watched a solid like 200 something episodes of Black Clover. I think Fairy Tail's still at least competitive with it. You know what I mean? The issue with Boruto is that the anime, I don't know what's going on right now, but the anime was out like 200 something episodes when the manga was out like 40 chapters.
Yeah.
So like Boruto has been spinning its wheels forever without having the actual source material be like growing. Like, it's just there to get views. It's the AI anime recap equivalent of an actual anime show. Though I will say with Fairy Tale, by the episodes that I'm at now, 7 minutes of every episode is recap. Totally. That is so fucking annoying with shonen. One Piece does the same thing, and I feel like it's inexcusable and nobody talks about it. But
because you're losing, like, in an episode that is already 22 minutes long. You are now only getting 15 minutes. You're getting half of an actual show's length.
Yeah, minus
an episode.
Minus the ED,
minus the intro, minus the outro.
Yeah, minus the bumper.
It is minus the bumpers. Yeah, it is like you are getting at the end of the day like 12 minutes of actual content.
Yeah, which is obnoxious. So yeah, I just think Fairy Tail's just one of those things that's just like super watchable. It's just super duper watchable, and
it is. I mean, it is so easily digestible. The characters are enjoyable. Like, you get some interesting characters. Natsu's an interesting character. Lucy is an interesting character. Urza's a great character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you get really interesting people. I like Gray.
Yeah.
Especially once you get Juvia, like, in the mix, and he has to deal with that shit all the time.
Yeah.
That shit's funny as fuck. I just got past the point where they meet for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, I had forgotten about this dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, shit, one of the best characters was the daughter of Gray's master there. I like Lucy when she's not doing monologues. Icarus, her monologues are like weird and almost ASMR-y. I don't like them.
Here's the thing about Lucy, right? I understand not liking her. She can be kind of useless a lot, but she also has the most powerful move in the entire thing, the Lucy kick. You don't get anywhere without the Lucy kick, you know? That's true.
Lucy kick is great. Yeah, there's a lot of good comedy. There's like some episodes. I mean, I think the best episode was the one or the one or two where time gets turned back during the big battle in the capital. That's some really good episodes, good character stuff. But I mean, that's also like 180 fucking episodes into the anime, so
right. Yeah. I mean, like, there is good stuff, and then there's stuff that's like, well, this is so obviously filler.
Oh yeah, no, I'm using a filler guide. Like, I'm not watching the filler episodes. Which, and to be fair, I think out of the 300 some odd episodes that they have, there's only like 20 to 50 filler episodes, which isn't terrible.
So it's somewhere around 10 to 15% or so, somewhere in that range.
Yeah,
it's not terrible.
And I think part of the thing with the episodes having so much recap and stuff is just the fact that the anime caught up to the manga, and
totally
they were waiting for it and stuff. So it's not the end of the world.
I mean, it is crazy though how long the series ran. 9 seasons, is that right? Like, I think it's like a 9-season series.
It's split up into 3 on Crunchyroll, so I don't know.
I know, but it's split up by like year or some shit. How many? Hold on.
It's split up into 3. I don't know.
How many seasons is Fairy Tale? Fairy Tale has 9 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the manga ran for like 16 years.
Right. And so the seasons were released in 3 waves. Fairy Tail 2009 through 2013, which includes seasons 1 through 6, Fairy Tail 2014, which is 7 and 8, and Fairy Tail 2018, which is the 9th and final season. But there's more. They've already started a new anime that continues the storyline.
I think there's 2 other anime. Yeah. There's a prequel and then another one, like a side story or something.
Like, that has to tell you that there's a large enough fan base that cares enough to not only go for 9 fucking seasons, which is an insanely long anime already. Yeah. But that it's still going. It's still, people still care. Yeah. The shit started in 2009.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing that I talked about in the episode, was that, like, it was years after our time. You know what I mean? Like, we were the Dragon Ball Z, you know, Yu Yu Hakusho age. I didn't
watch Fairy Tail until I was, I don't know, 25?
Yeah,
maybe?
Something like that. Yeah, but for people Sammy's age, that was their Dragon Ball, because Naruto was already old, One Piece was already old. You know what I mean? That was the thing that started when they were the shonen age, you know? So I think that, like, that age group just hasn't really gotten into the video essay anime world yet as big as, you know, we did when we were that age. You know, I don't know. Sure. It's interesting for sure. But that's pretty much what we've been watching. I haven't really been watching anything else. Devin's always looking at some stuff. She sent us some weird one that was interesting. I was talking to this guy Wayne, who does a lot of Digimon content, because he got stuck doing Digimon content when he did a Digimon video. Yeah. And he was telling me
done that.
He said there's a Digimon show that's done by the Serial Experiments Lane people that is basically Serial Experiments Lane but Digimon. So I'm interested in checking that out.
Wild.
Sounds awesome. So maybe that's because we've been wanting to do the Pokemon Digimon you know, kind of shows like that. I think that would do really, really well. And I love the first seasons of Pokemon. Like, I love Pokemon all the way up through Diamond and Pearl as far as the anime goes. So I'd be totally down for doing seasons of those at a time. Digimon, like, of course, we just got to figure out the issues with Toei and the MCN stuff to turn off that fucking switch for Japan. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, you want to talk about video games before we clock out of this?
Yeah, we can do some video game chat.
Okay. You want to go first?
I mean, mine's real simple, man.
Yeah.
I've been playing Elden Ring Night Rain. I'm still playing Elden Ring. That's a great game. I have over 100 hours in that game.
Okay.
It's fucking good. It's just a fucking good game. I like playing it. I like watching it. I've beaten everything that the game has to offer, and I'm still playing.
Nice. Because
it's still just like, you don't know what you're going to get each run. There's enough character diversity that, like, you can play a ton of different play styles. Like, I've recently one of the characters, the Raider, has become like a recent favorite of mine because he's just so fucking fun to play. And you can set him up, like, each character gets 3 relics that you can equip, which give you different effects and abilities, essentially, right? And I have my Raider set up where every time he gets hit, he does more damage. So I have a character now where I want to get hit a lot, and he has a massive health pool, so it's okay. I'm not dying in one hit. Mm-hmm. So I have a character where it's just like, hit me, fucking hit me, so that way I can do insane damage back, and it's really fun to play. And I've gone on, like, not like a crazy win streak, but I think my current win streak is 7 in a row. Wow. And that's all with randoms. Like, I'm not playing, I play with Sammy on the weekends, but otherwise I'm just playing me in randoms. I don't pick, like, what I'm gonna fight. I just do anything random. I'm just filling for other teams, and I have a great time doing it. And I typically end up leading the team in where we go too, which is like a level of responsibility that makes it more fun for me. I don't know. It's just really, really fun.
Have you gone through all the remnants?
Remembrances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Remembrances. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was right about them, right? They're pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. They're great. Like, there's some really, really interesting ones in there. They're really, really unique. There's a couple that are like very storyline based in terms of like what happens compared to other ones. And there is one thing that people still haven't figured out yet that like Sammy really wants to figure out. There is a item that has I think it's a 0.1% drop.
Oh,
in the game called the Cord End.
okay.
It's a gold item that you can only get from churches. It's like a consumable. And if you get it, it opens up a secret door like near the main castle map. And if you open that up, you get 3 sacrificial twigs.
Okay.
And people are speculating that there has to be something that these things do because that is such a terrible fucking reward for a 0.1% drop item.
Yeah. Interesting.
So people don't know exactly what it's for yet. They think that there must be like some extra thing that we haven't figured out yet. I don't know what I feel like data miners would have out, or maybe it's going to come with like extra content that comes out. Maybe it'll do something with the DLC that comes out later this year. I don't know, but there's still more things to explore. They're still adding new stuff. They've basically added the game originally launched 8 bosses, essentially 8 final bosses, right? There's tons of other bosses that you can fight throughout the game, but there's 8 final Night Lords that you can fight. They've now added Sovereign Dark Night Lords, which are essentially, if you play Monster Hunter, they're like arch-tempered bosses. So you take the original boss and then you make them stupid hard and better. So like every boss basically has a phase 1 and phase 2, you know? The Sovereign Dark bosses start in phase 2 and then have a phase 3.
Right.
So they are much harder, they have more health, get harder. And you get some really good rewards for beating them. So like I've beaten the 2 that have launched so far. There'll be another one next week. They're on a rotating cycle, so there's one available per week. So there's always something new to fight, which is nice.
Yeah.
At least there's 3 right now. I don't know. Repeat until they launch like a new set of 3 or something.
Okay.
But that game is just stupid fun. I wish I had more people to play with because playing it with friends is the best way to play. Like Sammy and I have a great time, even though Sammy's not in the chat right now. No. We have the worst fucking luck imaginable when we play together. I have had my absolute worst runs with Sammy.
Weird.
Like we have had runs that were so bad and had such shit luck. I was like, one of us is a shit luck charm for the other, and I don't know who is who.
James says it's just Sammy. I've had some bad luck with Sammy lately too in our gaming.
We were fighting the newest Sovereign Dark Lord, and like we tried like 3 or 4 times in a row. Had terrible runs, couldn't get anything going. I woke up the next day, first try beat it. Sammy woke up the next day, first try beat it. We did not play together.
So speaking of Sammy, we made the gamers, the gamer group. If you guys are interested in Sammy and meeting all those guys, follow us on Twitch. We've been playing Rust, and I got the idea for all of us getting together and playing Rust off of some videos I had been watching. That just made it seem like if you had a group, it was just fun. You were just like so much. Yeah. You were just so powerful in the game. Turns out that that's not true. Also, Rust is like, I think everybody's kind of heard of Rust, but you don't really understand Rust until you've put like 50 hours into it. Rust is I would it's kind of like a AIDS syphilis soup wrapped in a bowl of cancer. It is
delicious.
Yeah, I would say it's one of the most complex and well-designed games I've ever played. especially when it comes to the survival and the crafting and the building and all of it. It's incredibly well done. But the idea, the concept, the point of the game is what destroys it, which is to fuck everybody else over as hard as you possibly can. It is hoard everything, the game, and the way that you hoard everything is by getting ahead and stealing it from other people. You cannot trust anybody at all. It doesn't matter. Like, you could have some naked dude with a rock come up to your house and be like, "Hey, like, anybody, can you guys, like, you throw me a pickaxe? Like, I really need help." And that person could have a gun that's, like, in their inventory and you can't see it because it's not on their back, because it's not in their hotbar. You open that door and this person's got 15,000 hours in Rust. He can automatically open his inventory, switch it into his hotbar, blow your fucking head off, get into your base, steal all your shit, and you're done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are trolls, and that's, like, not even the worst of it. Like, you know, you're dealing with the sweatiest, smelliest neckbeard gamers, and they're, like, you know, nasty, no education offspring, alphas and zoomers counterparts. It is an evil game full of evil people, but there are those moments where you find somebody who's actually really nice, and the moments where you achieve something, and it's so exhilarating and it's so nice, and it's like, oh dude, I found this base that, like, somebody just totally abandoned, and it's degrading, and it's just full of guns and bombs. We could use that and go blow up somebody else's base and take all their shit and get a snowball effect going. And, you know, there's a team aspect and, like, all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. JM found one of those one time. It was really cool. But it is the community is terrible. You know, we left a server because they were just spamming, like, racist stuff and, like, swastikas in the chat and stuff like that. Like, it can get really gross. But then there's also other kinds. There's team deathmatch servers where they've modded it into, like, a, you know, like a CS:GO type thing. And it can help you with the weapons, because the weapon physics and mechanics are just, like, super hyper realistic. There's bullet drop, like, all sorts of stuff.
Bullet drop, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really complex game. You know, we're constantly getting into arguments. It was really funny because Devin was always yelling at me about the bases, right? Because I put a shit ton of doors in our bases, and they're annoying to open and close. I make my bases very difficult to get around in. You know, you got to do squat jumps and, like, all sorts of stuff. And the reason for that is because every wall, every type of wall, and every door has a certain amount of health. And what you want to do is make it incredibly expensive for people to raid your base, because in order
they have to get through a lot of shit to get to,
which costs a lot of resources, right? So the idea of raiding a base is to get more than you spent, right?
Right.
So if you make it very difficult to get into your base and you don't have a lot because you're out spending it doing other things, you're kind of fucking people over who are trying to fuck you over. You know what I mean? So it's
like you make this, like, super elaborate base, and then you hide all your shit somewhere else that isn't even in the base.
We did that. That was funny. We did that. Somebody spent the money raiding into an armored wall, which is, like, you know, 8 rockets or something, which is, like, you know, 20,000 gunpowder, which is, you know, 40,000 sulfur, which is like 60,000 sulfur ore, you know, which is like hours of farming ore rocks, right? So it's like, you know, it's funny. There's a lot of shit in it. It's I can't stream it though. So here's what we ran into, right? We were streaming it for a while, and then we started to get stream sniped, which is crazy because my streams usually have somewhere between 11 to 30 people in them tops, right? Somebody found my stream sniped it, set up a shit ton of bags all around so he could spawn in there. He was, like, blaring shit through his microphone, like the NFL theme. He wouldn't leave us alone. He was just so fucking annoying. He was driving me crazy. And the thing is that, like, that kind of trolling is to be expected in Rust. What bothered me is that this person, like, I immediately, like, locked in on this person's, like, mindset / personality. Like, here is somebody who goes around to small streams in order to ruin them. You know what I mean? Because you're not just ruining my game time. You're ruining the production. You're ruining my, like, business right now. Like, you are, like, the lowest form of asshole, right? So that stream ended up with me being very mean to that person, and then shutting the stream down. And I went on Reddit, and I was like, how do you stream Rust without that happening? Right? Like, and Reddit was like...
And the answer is you don't.
You don't. You don't. You don't stream Rust. There is no good way to stream Rust, and even if you do it the best you can by, like, getting a certain mod for OBS, which fuck that, and, you know, etc., having the stream running in 10 minutes behind, like having a stream delay of 10 minutes is a thing too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So we play Rust in the mornings and like during the days on the weekends and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't stream it, guys. I'm sorry. So we got to come up with something else to do. Still gonna be streaming fighting games. I'm gonna be getting back into Street Fighter 6 because they buffed Chun-Li. I'm really hype about that. And then the other thing I've been playing is Super Mario Kart World. Yeah. Devin got a Switch 2. I still refuse to get one for now, but it's a great game. Like that's all I got to say about it. It's really great. It's a lot of fun. It's Mario Kart Tony Hawk. It's they put the work into it.
I played it at Loxton's, and now we've played Mario Kart a good number of times together.
Yeah.
You probably remember that I'm dog shit at Mario Kart. I'm not good at racing games.
Yeah.
I've never been good at racing games. There's something about them that just doesn't fucking click for me. I am worse at Mario Kart World than any other racing game I've ever played.
Why don't you put on the easy steering, like where it makes it so you can't drive off the track?
I don't bowl with bumpers, man. That's why.
Okay. All right.
I want to play the game how it's meant to be played. That's why. And it's not that it's not fun. Like I don't have a Switch 2, but Loxton obviously does. He says that Pokemon like Violet or whatever it is, I don't know, the Switch one, looks phenomenal now. The draw distance is actually what it should be. It feels good. It's like the right frame rate and shit. He's like, that's really great.
Yeah. Naveed was talking about that, where like things are running at the correct frame rates that they were supposed to be running at. Yeah.
But yeah, so we tried playing some Mario Kart World, and first of all, I was like, oh, there's fucking 24 there's 24 people on the track. That's a lot of fucking people. That's insane amount of people. And then we played it, and I don't think I placed higher than 9th the entire time.
Damn. Yeah, you do suck. Devin got like first place. Devin beat me a couple times.
Jack's amazing. Like Jack was getting like 3rd, 5th, 2nd, you know?
Yeah.
And like we were playing with Loxton, Josh, and all, them obviously, and they were good.
Of course they're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I could not figure out what was going on half the time. I couldn't figure out which way to turn half the time. The maps were confusing to me. There's so many colors and things going on. My brain cannot handle it. It cannot follow.
You are the Grant.
Yeah. Legitimately. Legitimately, I could not follow it. Like, it was crazy. And I had a good time playing it, but like, it just does not my brain.
I gotta get you on like Forza Horizon 5. There's no weapons, there's no nothing. It's just fun racing, and maybe get you into.
Yeah, but I don't like racing anyway.
Why? Because you're bad at it?
No, just because there's not like a ton of enjoy. Like I like Mario. That's the pinnacle of racing games for me, because there is fun things to do. I like hitting people with shells. I like the jumps and the weapons and all that stuff.
You don't like Burnout? Orbos just brought up Burnout. You don't like Burnout?
I've only played Burnout like once or twice. I don't know enough about it to.
Burnout kicks ass. There's like whole modes where it's just about like making the biggest crash and causing like the biggest wreckage and stuff.
That's what I've played. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. Jam played. I didn't like Need for Speed Underground. I didn't like Underground. I didn't like all the drag races that were in that game. But regardless, anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm fucking terrible at Mario Kart. But it's fun. It's a very fun game. I can see like I can see the idea behind it, even if I can't do it.
Mhm.
And it looks like they really stepped it up. You know?
Yeah, it only took them like 16 years or something to put out a new Mario Kart game. Yeah, something like
but
that.
I mean, they didn't have to put out a new one. It's the same reason we haven't got a new GTA, you know?
Yeah.
And we finally are. Like,
maybe
and the
we'll
GTA
see.
6 looks really good.
It does. It does. That's gonna ruin everything.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta make a Bonsai Pop GTA 6 role playing server.
Oh God.
Yeah, you want some good content? Go watch GTA 5 role playing trolls. Those guys are so funny.
I've watched. There's a creator I watched named Squeaks. He started out like as a Mario 64 speedrunner.
Yeah.
And he joined a GTA 5
RP.
roleplay server.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because he let me pull up a picture of him.
Okay.
As his character.
Is he Australian?
No, he
Okay.
is Indian.
Okay.
And he roleplayed as Vivek Ramaswamy in the server.
Oh
So like
God.
this is what he looks like.
Oh my God.
So you can see how he was really able to like nail the look.
Yeah. Wow.
And this was his character in the server, and it was just perfect.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Dude, he was really funny.
Hell yeah. All right, well,
It's good stuff.
everybody, I think that is the podcast for this week. I'm sure next week we will talk about how Trump bombed Iran and everything is worse, but it was nice this week just to have a good time.
Just to have a chill, fun time.
Yeah, you know, I think we all kind of needed that. I think that's, you know, something that I'd catch up and relax, go over a good weekend, and just kind of do that. We'll get a little bit into the mud next time, maybe in the Patreon podcast. So if that's why you come here, a lot of people do. So all right. Last thing. So I was kind of talking to Devin, talking to some other people about the podcast because I've been having a little bit of trouble with it lately because the news has just been so bad. And one of the reasons we didn't put out the last podcast is because we recorded it and then Trump bombed Iran. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
very difficult when you're talking about modern events, current events, that like your shit gets instantaneously out of date. And a lot of people, like I've been feeling bad because I've been feeling like the podcast has been very depressing and like, you know, worried that it was like bringing people down. And a lot of people were like, they're like, it's cathartic to listen to somebody else like feel the way that I do about what's going on. It's not making me more depressed. It's making me feel like there's other people out there that want to do something about it and, you know, are paying attention and, you know, yada yada, like reaffirming for me the decency and humanity. So I'm feeling better about it. You know, it's still hard sometimes for, you know, me and Tyler to talk about it because it is not like fun. You know, talking about Elon Musk being on drugs, that's fun. Talking about what he was doing while he was on drugs, not fun. But regardless.
Oh man, we didn't even touch on Tesla's self-driving car launch.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
There's so much.
We got the whole rest of our lives to continue doing the Bonsaipopteam. Because if we stop doing this, what the fuck else are we gonna do? But anyway. That we'll get to all that. I just wanted to explain people that before we go. But regardless, join the Patreon. We will work for you if you give us money, and you'll also get an extra podcast every week, assuming we're being good about it, and viewing parties in the Patreon Discord, and
which
all
we
of that
will
other
be
fun
doing
stuff.
this week.
Yes,
we're
we
gonna
will.
do
Sailor Moon. We're doing Sailor Moon.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, we're doing Sailor Moon. All right, awesome. We will see you guys very soon. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. Thanks so much for being patient with us. And we love you guys. And thanks to our patrons for supporting us.